right. Good Thursday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. Hopefully, one has had a fantastic Thursday. I am your meteorologist, Peterson. Let's go ahead and talk about the weather for your Thursday evening going into your future. We have some stuff that we will talk about tonight. First off, what are we going to be talking about? We will be talking about, obviously, what's going to occur with our flood risk as we continue through, especially through this weekend. We also will talk about the tropics, because the tropics we have an area of interest that we are watching for. We're going to talk about our isolated scattered shower activity that will go through potentially tomorrow and Saturday. And then for the most part, I think that that's pretty much all that we're going to talk about. But if you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button yet, make sure you're going to do so. Hit the share button as well. Share it with all the people that you know, because we are at 582 subscribers. We are 18 subscribers away from that main goal of 600 subscribers. Just 18 people. You definitely have met more than 18 people in your lifetime. Just go on and send it out. Post it on Facebook. Post it on Instagram. Post it on Twitter or whatever social media platform. Does not matter. Just go on and share it out. And with all that out of the way, let's go on and talk about our weather. So for current conditions right now, there is nothing going on over the entire state of South Carolina right now as we speak. As we look at what's going on throughout the entire U.S., rainfall from Georgia to Florida to Ohio, all the way from Pennsylvania up in New York. We also have some rainfall going on in Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas. Rainfall also going on in Montana, as well as Wyoming, Nevada, California, going into Utah, Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico is included, South Dakota is included, Minnesota is included in there, down into Iowa and Illinois. Now for our cloud cover, obviously we are covered with clouds right now, and that's not really too much of a shocker. Cloud cover right now is widespread over us, and if we want to look at the cloud cover for our future, you can see that that cloud cover will continue to just keep going, even as we move into tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., when my morning forecast video comes out tomorrow. That cloud cover is going to start to move to the south and east a little bit more, and you will see that actually we start to see some clearing up there inside of the upstate. But cloud cover remains for a lot of other regions, and once we get later into Friday, I mean, look at this. Nice and clear moving into like Friday afternoon / evening, so something good to look for there. Current temperatures right now, 75 in Columbia, as well as 73 in Orangeburg, 73 in Somerville, as well as 73 in Sumter, 74 in Florence, and even 72 in Conway, 77 in Myrtle Beach, and even 76 in Murrells Inlet, 74 in Georgetown, as well as 75 in North Myrtle Beach, 76 inside of Charleston, 76 in Beaufort, 79 in Hilton Head Island. And if you move up here towards the upstate, around 71 in Union, 73 in Newburgh, and even 75 in Aiken, 71 in Greenville and Spartanburg, as well as 70 in Gaffney, 70 in York and Rock Hill. For your low temperatures for tonight, 60 in Anderson, even 60 in Greenville, 59 in Spartanburg, and 61 in Rock Hill, 61 also in Newburgh, and even 65 in Columbia, 66 in Orangeburg, and 66 also in Walterboro, 66 in Moncks Corner, even 72 in Charleston, 74 in Hilton Head Island, 67 in Georgetown, 69 in Myrtle Beach, and even 64 from Sumter to Florence. For your rainfall, there is indeed no rainfall, even though yet I do think that this could be challenged because the models right now are showing something a bit different. We're going to talk about it. It is only one model run, but still something to look for. But for the official forecast from the National Weather Service, no precipitation as of 5 o'clock p.m. That's also probably another thing to talk about as of 5 p.m. If we go on now and look at the crazy score for tonight, we're at a 10. Obviously, we're not expecting any precipitation tonight for now. Some models have some things to say to differ with that, but according to the Weather Prediction Center, the National Weather Service, those are the official forecast areas. They say no. if I go on and look at, what else might be causing that, there is a patchy fog risk. Light winds and weak moisture advection may support patchy fog along those rivers. There will be, obviously, that high pressure that will maintain or help maintain that mostly dry/dry conditions. No flood risk, anything like that. It's going to be cool and comfortable. SPC outlook for tonight, no thunderstorms are expected tonight. For tomorrow, no thunderstorms are expected tomorrow. But Saturday, things take a big change as we have a thunderstorm risk for the entire state of South Carolina. Now, again, the entire state of South Carolina. So this is for Saturday. Everyone will have a shot. If the convection gets going near you, it will have the ability to turn into a thunderstorm for sure. For excessive rainfall, obviously nothing for tonight or tomorrow. But if you move into day 3, Saturday, you're not seeing anything in there either. Remember, we had a marginal risk that was here for Saturday, but now it's gone. Sunday, though, is when things, get back to normal, as we have another marginal risk of excessive rainfall that goes for pretty much most of the state, except for over here from Pageland to Chesterfield to Bennettsville to Darlington, Florence, Marion, Mullins, Loris, Dillon. All those places still have some isolated flash flood risk. And then day 5 from Monday, up here inside the far upstate, we have a marginal risk of excessive rainfall that goes from Salem over towards Long Creek, and that is for isolated flash flooding on Monday. So let's go on and look at the models. So time will be inside of the top right corner of your screen. So this is the one model run that was the 23Z, and you can see that for most part, mostly dry, but look by 12 to 1 to 2 a.m., look at this rainfall activity that's coming through. You can see rainfall moving through from in the western low country, and once you get to around 3, 4 a.m., you're seeing some light shower / moderate shower activity go through the low country by around 3, 4 a.m. But once you get to around 6, 7 a.m., that's when all that rainfall will most likely go away. So once you wake up 6, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., that rainfall most likely will be gone if it was to occur. I do want to look at the previous one to still see if it says the same thing, and this one says pretty much the same thing. So this one model, the ARRR, thinks that it is possible that we will get some rainfall tonight, especially in that low country area. Now, if we go into the NAM right here actually has a bit of a different story, has barely any precipitation at all, if any, going into South Carolina. So that just shows you how different it is, how different these two models are, and how will we get that rain tonight? That's the question that obviously is going to be answered once we get to around, as early as 12 a.m. going into around 3, 4 a.m. So that's pretty much all for that, though. And then if you go to the Weather Prediction Center, this is from the actual Weather Prediction Center. They say no. They say no in terms of precipitation. This goes all the way into Friday night at 8 o'clock. They say no to precipitation as well. But one thing that I will say is that this obviously seems to be updated at 9 o'clock. So this was their forecast at 9 o'clock. The one that I show you usually, this one was updated actually at 5 p.m. So things have changed. I think the next update is around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock-ish. So I'll see what they have there once that time gets there, obviously. And then we'll have our update in the morning to see if it really did rain or not. Especially, like I said, in that southern Midland low country area. But let's stop talking about tonight and go even further into the future. So we're going to obviously start off where we just ended off at, which was tomorrow afternoon, where you can see this one as well still says rainfall is possible. And I guess due to it also kind of being that summertime area, that might include, or that might kind of say why it has this rainfall out, even though the National Weather Service says no. I'm just continuing even more. Now, I will say once you get to around 4, 5, 6, 7 a.m. on August the 30th, which is Saturday, rainfall activity looks a lot more confident as we move into Saturday. And so we don't have that risk for that isolated flash flooding on Saturday. not until Sunday, but some rainfall will move through for sure going into Saturday. So let's go and talk about our long-term future. This is around 48 hours out, so this is where we just ended off at. As you go on and push this forward, you can see rainfall for sure still going on as we get into the first couple of hours of September. Continue to push this forward into September the 3rd, seeing a huge plume of moisture move in around September the 3rd, September the 4th-ish. But then that's going to move its way out, and we can get another high pressure that takes over around like September the 6th. And we're seeing, again, some relatively dry conditions go through around like September the 9th, September the 10th. We might see, which again, once we get to around September the 10th, we really can't go any further than that. But we can look at patterns, and patterns right now says that you have a high pressure, but will that high pressure keep that moisture out? Just a lot of questions. But that's pretty much what the weather/meteorology is. I mean, just a bunch of questions. Will this happen? Will this set up the way how the models are saying it will set up as, or will it not set up as the way that we are thinking, and will it go in the complete opposite direction? That's the main question, though, and that's around 300 hours out. Will this high pressure be here? Which, I mean, you can kind of already see the rainfall kind of starting to circle around South Carolina almost. But then you can see the high pressure form right there. Like I said, September the 11th, September the 12th. Will that high pressure sustain that dry condition, though? And once we get more into that time frame, we can see by that time frame to see what does happen. But for now, it's looking like that an active pattern might be coming back, especially during like that September the 3rd, September the 4th time frame. But that's it for the long-term models. That's all I wanted to say there. So let's go on and talk about the tropics. So obviously we have this area right here, disturbance 1. This has a 20% chance of forming. Let me go on and talk about it. A tropical wave is forecast to emerge off the west coast of Africa on Sunday. Thereafter, environmental conditions could support some slow development of the system while it moves west to west-northwest at around 15 to 20 miles per hour across the eastern and the central tropical Atlantic next week. So this has a 0% chance of forming over the next 48 hours and a 20% chance of forming over the next 7 days. And if we go on and look at the ensembles, because I already did get them pulled up, you can see for sure you can already kind of see like the low pressure signals, and you can see that they're right now still going all over the place. But that's obviously because this is 10 days out right here. Like 10 days, we're still not even at, it's still really not even in quite that central Atlantic area. It's getting there, and it's maybe like on the eastern central side, but it's not even getting close to the U.S. 10 days out from now. So we really, definitely cannot say anything about this yet, and we just have to continue to wait. Will it even form is the main question that we still have to figure out. But for now, it's just something to look at and just to be aware of. So that's it for the tropics. I mean, like I said, Fernand's gone. I did forget to mention that. Fernand is gone. Let me go in and get my soundboard real quick. Goes on and loads up. There we go. Alright, so anyways, like I was saying, Fernand is gone. Let's go and give a round of applause. I mean, we obviously knew that Fernand was not going to do anything to anybody, but still, that's one less system to talk/worry about. And that's all that I have to say for the tropics tonight. Again, not much going on there. And so let's go on, and let's go on and talk about the audience, and then we're going to go on and talk about the drought monitor. Then we'll talk about, our 4 locations outside of South Carolina, and then we'll go over some pictures that I got. Starting off first with Mr. Chris, he says, "Good evening, everyone. Hope y'all's day was good. A really nice sunny day here in Moncks Corner. That's fantastic to hear. Same thing over where I am. Please remember to hit the like button and the subscribe button. Also share the channel. We greatly appreciate it. And sharing is caring." That is absolutely correct. I'm so glad you said that. Sharing is caring. And we right now have 14 people that have tuned in. Why we only have 7 likes? 7 people tuned in and just decided to not go on and hit the like button at all. I know. So if you're part of that 7 people that did not hit the like button, make sure you go and do so. And if you're a part of any part that have not hit the subscribe button yet, do so. It's free. You can change your mind at any time. My Aunt Lulu then says, good evening, everyone. We had a marvelous day for me to get out and do some yard work. That's fantastic to hear. Mr. Anthony then says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. And Mr. Chris says, already feeling cool outside. Yes, with that cool air coming through with that cold front that we just got earlier this week. For sure, it's going to feel cooler. Thad says, good evening, Cousin Joseph. It was a very nice day here today. I stayed in most of the day and got some shopping done early. That's fantastic to hear. Glad that you got some stuff done and productive. Trail says, greetings, everyone. Greetings to you, and that's it. So not a huge chat tonight, but obviously we have the drought monitor to talk about, because you can see right here the poll that was just put inside the chat. I said, what is your drought prediction? 71% says no drought / no abnormally dry. And so that means obviously nothing changed, because last time we had no drought, we had no abnormally dry, anything like that. 14% says that there was an abnormally dry area that has started, but it's relatively small. And 14% says that an abnormally dry has started, and it actually is pretty big. So we'll go on and check that out. Nobody said that a drought had started, and honestly, I think I can cross that one out as well. But for my own prediction on what I believe, which I'm going to switch to the screen kind of just as a buffer screen real quick, so you want to switch some stuff over. But I mean, I look at the observed precipitation. I looked at how much rainfall we have received in the past 7 days. Like, for example, down there, I know, like, in the downtown Charleston area, they got 9 to 10 inches of rainfall down there in, like, the past 7 days. I know some other areas up there in the upstate got around 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. Parts like Columbia got, like, an inch. Sumter got, like, an inch. Myrtle Beach got, like, an inch or two. So, I've been looking. I've been, obviously there's no drought that has started, but then obviously there are some locations outside of South Carolina that received no rainfall over the past 7 days, and so I do agree with the majority. I do agree with the majority tonight, saying that there is no drought, there is no abnormally dry or anything like that. So let's go on and reveal it. There is indeed no drought, so the majority did, in fact, get it correct. And not only is it glad that the majority got it correct, but also just because no drought, obviously that's a great thing. And so we can continue to say, yes, we do want the rainfall. Some people do want the rainfall. But for the most part, do we really need it? No, not necessarily. Still inside of the none category right now for everybody. So no drought to look forward to. Fantastic to hear. Again, congratulations to the 71% that chose the no drought / no abnormally dry option. And so that's pretty much all for the drought. So I am going to go on now and talk about the 4 locations outside South Carolina. That is San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Duncan, Oklahoma. Why do we talk about those locations, you may ask? Because we have people from those areas that tune in almost nightly. And so, as a reward, I just give them their own forecast. And as we always do, we talk about San Antonio first, but we're going to flip it. We're going to flip it today. We are going to flip it today. We're going to talk about Duncan first, then we're going to go up and talk about Philadelphia, and then Raleigh, and then we're going to talk about San Antonio last. Just to change things up, to not keep it the same all the time. So we're going to talk about Duncan first, and then, like I said, then we'll go all the way up. Starting off with Duncan first, you have low temperatures tonight, 68, high temperatures tomorrow at 78, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 67. There is a chance for some showers tomorrow night. Nothing for tomorrow during the day, but tonight, showers are likely. Showers are indeed likely tonight. And there is, obviously, like I said, that chance of showers tomorrow night. Now, Obviously, in terms of that severe weather, you did have a chance earlier, but I believe that it has now since, dissipated. No threat for any sort of severe weather for you. And then for excessive rainfall, you still do not have a threat for tonight and tomorrow, but Saturday, minor flooding is possible / isolated flash flooding is possible there. Philadelphia being the second location with low temperatures tonight at 63, high temperatures tomorrow at 79, and the low temperatures tomorrow night at 57. There is a slight chance of showers tonight and no precipitation tomorrow or tomorrow night as well. Now, in terms of excessive rainfall, no excessive rainfall is expected at this time. And then in terms of that severe weather, no severe weather is expected. Now going over into Raleigh, North Carolina, with low temperatures tonight at 62, high temperatures tomorrow at 86, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 64. No precipitation tonight or tomorrow. And then in terms of excessive rainfall, there is no excessive rainfall that is expected there. And then for severe weather, no severe weather there either. San Antonio being the last one with low temperatures tonight at 78, high temperatures tomorrow at 101, and the low temperatures tomorrow night at 78 as well. No precipitation is expected. No severe weather is expected. But in terms of some excessive rainfall, you could see some excessive rainfall as early as Saturday, and obviously as well as Sunday and Monday. So Saturday, you might see some minor flooding. It's possible, but it's definitely the least likely out of the two so far. But for sure, Sunday and Monday will definitely probably be the more flash flood likely days that you will have. But again, all of them still are kind of just isolated for now. Nothing looking like scattered or flash flooding more likely or flash flood expected and stuff like that. So that's it for the 4 locations. So let's go on now and talk about the weather news across the entire U.S. Heavy thunderstorms may bring excessive rainfall and possible flooding over parts of the northern Gulf Coast Friday and other parts of Texas and New Mexico Friday through this weekend. A refreshingly cool and dry air mass will continue to produce below average temperatures over much of the central and the eastern U.S. into this weekend. Also, flooding possible also in places like southeastern Oklahoma going into Arkansas, Louisiana, and northeastern Texas. Some red flag warnings up there for Washington, and then also a winter, or I believe some winter weather advisories. Just winter weather advisories are up there for Alaska as they will be receiving some snow. And speaking of, freezing temperatures up there inside of Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan, they're going to have some frost over there as well. So they have some like 30-degree temperatures that's about to head over there. And so for now, it seems like that their winter is starting a little bit more earlier than usual. For now, though, obviously that most likely will change. But it does seem like that the cool air, according to some models, think that the cool air will be here a little bit longer than expected. We'll talk more about that tomorrow, though. And so that's all. Let me see the chat one more time. Trail says, lovely day here. That's fantastic to hear. And so let's go and talk about the picture that I got. I got a picture from, I believe, Mr. Chris. And then I have a picture from me as well. So 2 pictures tonight. This one was for Mr. Chris up at 6:45 in the morning up. And sent us this one. Says a beautiful sunrise at 6:45 in the morning. It's the picture that he sent. And so, yes, this is a fantastic picture. Thank you so much for sending this in. If you want to send in a picture, you can from scweather360@gmail.com. Again, that is SC, like South Carolina, weather360@gmail.com. So thank you so much for this picture. It's an amazing picture that you sent here. So let's go in real quick. Give him a round of applause real quick. All right, and then my picture is next. My picture right here was of my flower. If you remember, yesterday I kind of went on a little minute tangent about my flower and about how this flower has been through a lot. It cost like $50. Was a gift that was given to me for my birthday, and it's been thrown away accidentally. It's been, outside with no water for like a week because we were out on vacation, and it survived it all, and it still is blooming, and it's still doing relatively well. And more flowers are getting ready to get on it as well. Super happy about that. So let me go on real quick and give myself a round of applause. This is mine right here, and so that's pretty much all. Nothing else for me to say there about my plant or anything like that. So again, like I said, if you want to send in a picture, you can just send it to my email. And that is all. That is all that I have for tonight. I don't see anything else on the chat, and just in case if there is something there, my computer's just not showing it right now that there is something there, but I'm going to go on and wrap this up. If you did enjoy the forecast tonight, make sure you go and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, share with all the people that you know, because we are trying to get to 600 subscribers. We're at 582. 18 away from that main goal of 600 subscribers. So let's go on and get there. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Thursday evening, and we only got to get through tomorrow, and we will be done for the entire week.